Support for Steppin Out is made possible by Yes Portrait. New Orleans portrait artist Peggy Adair specializes in personal portraits in oil or pencil. She uses her many years of experience to bring her portraits to life. More information is available at yesportrait.com.
Support for this program comes from the French Market District, 6 historic blocks of retail and dining in the French Quarter. They offer a variety of shopping and dining experiences, complete with live music and local produce, artwork, jewelry, and gifts, open daily. Find special event and parking information at frenchmarket.org.
Good evening, I'm Peggy Scott Laborde and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. And we are coming to you from our studios near City Park. Seated at our table tonight, John Lawrence, Director of Museum Programs for the Historic New Orleans Collection. Welcome, Mr. John.
Great
to see you again.
Great to be here.
Always busy at the HNOC. We'll talk about that. Poppy Tooker, host of the WWNO radio program Louisiana Eats, and also very busy this week with Tales of the Cocktail.
Very busy.
Very busy. Brian Morgan's back. He covers, of course, the classical music scene for us. Good to see you. Hi,
hello,
Brian.
Peggy.
Welcome. And Alan Smason, editor of the online Crescent City Jewish News. Later on, though, we're also going to have two of the Big Easy buddies here to perform a couple of songs from Under the Boardwalk, currently at Le Petit Theater. But first up, Poppy.
Okay, it's time to talk some yummy food. And you don't go to Coquette thinking fried chicken, but once a year, Stephen puts on an incredible fried chicken dinner. It's fried chicken and champagne. Ooh. Maybe a bit of an unusual pairing, and that's happening Thursday, July 31st. You begin with champagne punch and hors d'oeuvres, and we're not talking just any champagne. We're talking Perrier Jouet Grand Cru and Diebold Valois Blanc de Blanc. And so you have the fried chicken, and then you have a delicious, luscious dessert display featuring in-season peaches and blueberries. It's $100. It's a once-a-year event. Go. Then, the bargains continue for the summer at all of Emerald's restaurants. You can have dinner at any of his restaurants for just 4 courses for just $45. Now, check out some of these menus. At Emerald's, you can have duck liver bruschetta or chilled sweet corn buttermilk soup. How about for the second course, bucatini nero, which is Gulf shrimp, calamari, ricotta salata, fresh basil, or crisp pork belly with a crawfish rice paper roll. Third course, we move into pepper glazed chapapilla pork. You can have char-grilled Gulf swordfish or even an ancho glazed rainbow trout. Now, we're going to move over to Nola in the French Quarter. And there you get Covey Rye's Creole Tomato Gazpacho. You get yellowfin tuna arugula. That would be my pick. I'm picking my favorite courses. I want the grilled Gulf fish, herb-roasted local squash with grape tomatoes and poblano. Or you also get buttermilk fried chicken there. So there's some chicken again with bourbon mashed sweet potatoes. This is making me hungry. Or pan-roasted salmon. All these great choices. Fourth course, key lime bread pudding or banana pudding layer cake. 4 courses.
Oh, that's so pretty.
Look how beautiful.
Isn't that a signature dish of his?
Yeah,
too?
that's the key lime bread pudding.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, I'm getting hungry. Let's go uptown with Emerald to Delmonico. And what I'd be ordering would be a first course of the confit pork cheek or the Gulf shrimp ceviche. And look how beautiful it is in there. $45, 4 courses. There is that confit pork cheek. Then for the second course, I think I might have the watermelon and Delmonico prosciutto salad. For dinner, I would be picking the pan-roasted mahi-mahi, or maybe, Peggy, you would be a traditionalist and have the jumbo Gulf shrimp clemenceau. Also, you can have a hanger steak, too. 4 courses, $45. And for dessert, wait until you see this warm blackberry cobbler. Look at the tuile on top with the ice cream selection of the day. Oh my goodness, that's delicious. Or you can have coconut rice pudding too. And the bargains continue. all year long, not just in the summertime, happy hour at Dominica and Pizza Dominica Uptown are very happy, very special. From 2 until 5 p.m., 7 days a week, there's specials happening at both restaurants with all pizzas being half off. Uptown, there's rotating daily drink specials, and downtown you get wines by the glass, beer, and well, cocktails at half price. It's the most fun. The food is so good. I think about the pizza at Dominica all the time, so I'll see you there.
Have you been having fun at Tales of the Cocktail?
Peggy, when do I not have fun?
Oh, this is true.
I'm all about
Silly
fun.
me.
You know that.
Great. Thank you so much, Bobby. And we turn to John. And, you know, sometimes it's just fun to, you know, be a visitor in your own hometown, the whole concept of staycation. And I've actually done that and pretty much spent the day at the various properties at the Historic New Orleans Collection. So I wanted to have you visit with us and talk about that, starting off in the original on Royal Street.
Right. Our Merry Old House complex at 533 Royal is where people can visit our permanent collection, view the special exhibition that we have now on the Boswell Sisters of New Orleans called Shout Sister Shout, and also tour the Williams residence, or if they don't feel like going inside, we offer tours of our courtyards and architecture from the exterior as well.
Well, what's so great about that is the Boswell exhibit and is free. You can just go in, and the only thing that's actually is a charge is if you go to in there, and there's the history galleries as well, is just a visit to the house. And I think that's fascinating because General and Mrs. Williams are the ones, we have the Historic New Orleans Collection thanks to their philanthropy, but they actually lived in the back, didn't they?
Yes, they lived in a French Quarter townhouse. That,
I love that. Look at that kitchen.
That's their kitchen. And this is a 19th century building adapted for mid-20th century living. And so even though we don't think of the century just past as being especially far away or historic, I think you can reevaluate that proposition by taking a tour of the Williams residence and viewing this sort of lifestyle in the French Quarter.
Absolutely. And then just around the corner, just a few blocks, you, of course, on Charter Street. Tell us about that building.
Yes, the Williams Research Center is where people who are interested in studying, digging deeper, if you will, into Louisiana history, whether it's family history, architectural history, or just the vast buffet of history that we have here, can find their appetite sated at the Williams Research Center. We also have exhibitions there as well, and so
a new one right now. Huh?
Yes, it's from cameo to close-up Louisiana in film, and it's a selection of materials from our holdings that present a broad view of film projects that are set in Louisiana and sometimes filmed in Louisiana. And so people can begin to get a sense of the rich film history of this state, including a newly added item, a 1918 half-sheet of Tarzan of the Apes, filmed in Morgan City. Right.
You have all kinds of things there, but you know, as you said, the building itself is very special because it actually used to be, and this is right next to K-Paul's, we should give a context. That used to be a police station a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yes, built as a police station and courthouse in 1915. At some point in the mid-20th century, the city and the state swapped properties. The state used it for a number of years, and then when it had no further use for it, was put up for public bid. It was the perfect place for the Historic New Orleans Collection to expand, and so we've been there since 1996.
Wow, it's been that long.
Yes.
Okay. And you know, looking ahead, I know you're quite a few years away, but the Historic New Orleans Collection owns 520 Royal, which some of us recall fondly as being the original WDSU studios.
Yes.
Future plans, huh?
The 520 Royal property is in its beginning stages of renovation. We are hoping that in some ways this can be one of our historic gifts to the city in 2018, having that property renovated and put into use for museum purposes where people will be able to focus on the French Quarter history.
All right, John, thank you so much. And we turn to Brian, and lots of tickling of the ivories, but in a very serious way coming up.
That's right.
Huh?
It's really one of the big events of classical music in New Orleans every year, and this year's their 25th anniversary. The New Orleans International Piano Competition and Keyboard Festival Piano Institute. So it's several days of concerts by great masters, master classes, symposia. So it's a really fascinating event that many people attend from all over the country, really, especially the South. Daniel Wildbacher is the head of it and has really done wonderful things. Many winners of this competition have gone on to great careers. And in fact, the winner of it not only gets a cash prize, but they also have performing concerts with the LPO, as well as a solo recital in London. So it's really very prestigious and very desirable for a young musician.
So folks can actually go and listen to these concerts and see them performing too.
That's right. It's a little bit of something for everyone in terms of piano. Being more of an organ man myself, I still have to appreciate what a great event this is for New Orleans.
And so for more information, they can go to the website.
That's right. And we have the telephone number as well. And recently we lost one of their board of directors, who was a very influential man in the community, Dr. John Yarborough, who was by profession a dermatologist and had a very prestigious practice there. But he was also a first-rate pianist and organist, and was on the board of directors of this organization. So the city is really going to miss him. A very kind person and very supportive of young artists. I remember, if you forgive me for a personal note, he bought an entire stack of my book, my biography of Norman Treigle, and had me sign several copies so he could give away to friends. Yeah, so he'll be missed.
He had been around for a long time, very sweet guy.
Originally from Mississippi, but really was here for so long, he really became a New Orleanian.
Okay, thank you so much, Brian. And now for something completely different, let's hear from the Big Easy Buddies, Rich Arnold, backed by Adair Watkins, performing some Four Seasons songs, including Cry For Me, and they're currently at Le Petit. Let's take a look.
I cried for you, now cry for me. No, no, I don't love you anymore. Cry for me. Well, you had your fun with someone new. Girl, now you want me to take you back. We're all through, 'cause now I'm leaving. No, no, make-believing. You made a fool of me. So now I'm leaving you. I loved you so much more than you'll ever know. Girl, but you cheated and you lied. Go on and cry for me. Well, you knew it from the start. Someday you'd break my heart. Now we're all through, so cry, cry for me the way I cried for you. Oh, oh, the way I cried for you. Go on and cry, cry for me.
And that was Rich Arnold, and special thanks to Ainsley Matich on the piano and Adair Watkins backing him up. We'll hear more from Adair a little bit later. Under the Boardwalk, filled with Four Seasons hits and other songs, plays through July 26th at Le Petit Theater. The Big Easy Buddies are available for local appearances, so go to bigeasybuddies.com for details. And now moving over to Alan.
We're going to talk about them, but first I wanted to mention that Broadway marquees were darkened this evening in memory of Elaine Stritch, the fast-talking bucking, brassy, no-holds-bar star of both stage and screen. Many will recall her one-woman shows, Elaine Stritch at Liberty, or possibly I'm Still Here. Elaine Stritch at Liberty actually won an Emmy Award for her. And whether we recall her in Company, With the Ladies Who Lunch, or perhaps Broadway Babies from Follies, or her last role doing Liaison in A Little Night Music, she was always on fire. Interestingly, she met her husband while doing a performance of Small Craft Warnings by, of all people, of course, Tennessee Williams. So there was a connection there locally. And also, yesterday, I announced it at the Tales of the Cocktail at one of the seminars. And of course, a lot of people don't remember, or maybe they should remember, that she actually was a bartender. After she became famous, she tended bar at Elaine's in New York. So yeah, so a lot of people raised their glasses or their plastic cups. But it wasn't named after her. It was not named after her, but it was Elaine's, and she did tend the bar there. So anyway, we all loved her drinking, and we all loved her dearly. So we'll miss her. She was 89, but a great, you know, personality of Broadway. We'll miss her. Okay, let's go back to Under the Boardwalk. We were talking about it just a few moments ago. If you cross equal parts of doo-wop, the Beach Boys, the Four Seasons, and maybe throw in a little bit of Motown, you'll get a spectacular show similar to what you'd envision you would expect with people like Rich Arnold and all of his fellows there, Mark Fucci, etc. Scott Sauber. Now, this is a group that rotates, so you're not going to see exactly the same cast every night. The Big Buddies are 8 male performers, and they rotate their roles in and out. So some days you'll see Rich, some days you won't. The show is outstanding, however, and I would really highly recommend it. It's doing great business, but if you need to get tickets, I would suggest you get them very, very quickly. One of the people who's going to be performing for them now is right in the center there, Idella Johnson. Of course, a great singer in her own right. She's now performing with some of the Mixon sisters. I believe one of them is actually going to be in one of the upcoming performances at Summer Lyric at Tulane, so she's filling in for her roles. But anyway, if you get a chance, get out there and see it. Under the Boardwalk has some wonderful shows, and there they are as the Four Seasons. They do a great job, and I really highly recommend it if you love that era of 50s and 60s music. Now, moving on, a little bit different is Dying City. This is the play that was here a few years ago, written by Christopher Shin. It's a 2-person show, and it's directed by Garrett Prejean, who does such a good job himself as an actor and a director. I like this particular iteration of the show better than the last one we saw at Southern Rep, although that was a good production, no problems. I just like this a little more endearing. Monica Harris there plays the role of Kelly, and of course dual roles there. That's a picture I shot after the performance with Matt Story playing the dual roles of her husband and her brother-in-law. They give a really different aspect to this performance, and it's not really about the fact that it's an interracial relationship. It's really about the depth of this dysfunctional relationship between the 3 of them. And of course, Matt has glasses on as her husband, and he takes the glasses off as he plays the brother-in-law. So it's interesting. It runs without intermission, about an hour and a half. I really think it's got a lot to say about a lot of things, love, loss, and all kinds of problems with poisonous relationships. Dying City is playing through Saturday, I believe the 2nd of August. Also, coming up in the same area at the Always Lounge and Theater is none other than True Blue Bayou. It just opened last night. It's going to continue to play through the 26th of the month. There she is, Dorian Rush, as Linda Ronstadt, and I understand she's been working on some sensational material that I'll get a chance to see and review for you at an upcoming show. She, I believe, actually is working with someone who knew Linda Ronstadt very well, and actually Linda Ronstadt is a prize of this production, so she wants to know a little bit more about it. Also, coming up at the National World War II Museum, the Stage Door Canteen, Jump, Jive, and Will. If you haven't seen it, Tom Hook, Christina Perez, and a cast, including Jay Hagan, playing the trumpet there. Fabulous show.
Gotta see it.
Wonderful music. And of course, everybody from New Orleans loves Louis Prima. He carried his message in the banner of what he did all over the world. Everybody loved it. You get a chance to check that out. The Stage Door Canteen is also holding their Stage Door Idol presentations on every Tuesday now, and August 12th will be when they have their finals. I was a judge this past week. Also, don't forget something coming up very special at the Mid-City Theater. Shakespeare's Star Wars, Verily, A New Hope. This is going to be based on the Ian Dosher books. It's a series of books that he did on Star Wars, and Shakespeare has done an iambic pentameter, and it's going to be a stage reading. It should be fun at the Mid-City Theater. Again, only one night. They are requesting donations, so there's no real charge for at the door. And last but not least, it's been a real busy week for a lot of people up in the New York area. They just came back, but Jim Fitzmaurice, who came back to co-judge with me at the Stage Door Canteen, Canteen, was working with Michael Cerveris and Paul Sanchez and a host of other people working on editing the script for 9 Lives, the Dan Baum book, of course, that everybody has seen maybe in previous iterations. They've worked on the music, they worked on the script, and pay attention because there's going to be a stage reading coming up. It's going to be fabulous, and I really have great hopes for this. So
and that's August 29th.
That's going to be coming up very soon, yes.
Okay, thank you so much. And now it's time, though, for our Artist Spotlight. Tonight we are featuring 2 works of art. The first is titled They Sing by Chuck Wright, a member of the Hammond Art Guild. Wright works with oils on different types of wooden surfaces. The second piece is titled Straight Up by Julie Bro. She's a native of Lafayette and paints bold colors using a brush and palette knife for texture, and they're both part of the group exhibit The Art of the Cocktail at Ariodante Contemporary Craft Gallery. That's right there on Julia Street through July 31st. Visit ariodontegallery.com to see more about that. Then visit WYES.org to see our online calendar, and you can also see our program if you missed it. It's on demand on our website, too. New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen, Julia Street, has a question for us. Last time, Marcos Blanco gave us the name of the New Orleans-owned soccer team and where it plays its home games. It's the Jesters and Pan American Stadium in City Park. Now, tonight's question: though not native to New Orleans, this cocktail, which is embellished with a slice of cucumber, is popular here. What is the drink and at what bar is it best known? The hands are going up here. Email your answers to steppinout@wyes.org. Our prizes: a Louisiana Life magazine subscription, a gift certificate for 2 courtesy of Vianne's Tea House, offering their culinary and gourmet tea experience. And tonight we have a T-shirt as worn by multi-visual artist Jack Boasberg with the message "Phantom of the Okra" from our friends at wearablevegetables.com. And now our picks. Brian.
Yes, we have a new opera company in town, the Ninth Ward Opera Company. It's going to present at the Marigny Opera House Samuel Barber's little comic opera, A Hand of Bridge, starring Elizabeth Evans, who's a really wonderful mezzo-soprano.
Oh, great. Poppy.
If you have not been down to the Hotel Monteleone this week, there is still time tomorrow and Sunday to grab a little taste of Tales of the Cocktail.
Sounds good. Yes, indeed. John.
My pick is the 7th Annual New Orleans Antiques Forum, which, although technically sold out, has a very short waiting list. If you're feeling lucky, call the Historic New Orleans Collection and get on that list.
That's great. Alan.
And if you haven't killed enough brain cells at Tales of the Cocktail, maybe you can do a little sinning at Mid-City Theater coming up. The Midsummer Nights Cabaret with Sean Patterson, Mandy Zerkenbach, and Jefferson Turner. It should be really fun. All the songs that you sin about, things like gluttony and things of that sort. I guess sex might get in there, too.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And now, before I go to my pick, I'd like to share a few photos with you. First, look at this. Photos by Dennis Persica of Pontchartrain Beach, which closed in 1983. The first 2, look at that. The Zephyr, a very rare wooden roller coaster. That 7-Up sign, I remember that 7-Up sign.
Me too.
And the very, very popular ride, the Wild Mouse. Look at that. The beach was owned by the Bat family, Brian Bat and Jay Bat, among the better known grandchildren, but there are many Bats out there. And next, here are a few photos of trumpet play. Look at that cake. That's from Flower Power. Look at that. It was Lionel Faribault's, trumpeter Lionel Faribault's 103rd birthday. What a celebration. It took place at Nina Buck's Palm Court Cafe last night. There he is. Special thanks to Dominic Massa and to Justin Winston for those very special photographs. We appreciate that. Now, tomorrow at 7 p.m., a hurricane turning ceremony. It's a public prayer service dedicated to Our Lady of Prompt Succor and some voodoo deities, and that's at the Ashad Meadows Peristyle. It's at Rosalie Alley, between Piety and Desire. That's off Rampart. The street is only a block long. I know you used to live in that neighborhood. Yeah. Go to NewOrleansHealingCenter.org for details. But it's Piety and Desire. You've got to look for it kind of carefully, right? I've been there. It's really
it's parallel to those streets, but only half a block long.
Thank you. And you are to wear white. If you want to bring some flowers, you can do that too. And now, though, we leave you with Adair Watkins, backed by Rich Arnold, and we're going to hear My Eyes Adored You, once again with the Big Easy Buddies, that 4 Seasons hit. And thank you all very much. And thanks for watching. Good night.
My eyes adored you, though I never laid a hand on you. My eyes adored you. Like a million miles away from me, you couldn't see how I adored you. So close and yet so far. I carried your books from school, playing make-believe you're married to me. You were 5th grade, I was 6th when we came to be. Walking home every day over Barnegat Bridge and Bay, till we grew into the me and you that went our separate ways. My eyes adored you, though I never laid a hand on you. My eyes adored you. Like a million miles away from me, you couldn't see how I adored you. So close and yet so far. Headed for city lights, I climbed the ladder up to fortune and fame. I worked my fingers to the bone, made myself a name. It's funny how I seem to find that no matter how the years unwind, still I reminisce about the girl I miss and the love I left behind. My eyes adored you, though I never laid a hand on you. My eyes adored you. Like a million miles away from me, you couldn't see how I adored you. So close and yet so far. So close and yet so far.
Support for Steppin Out is made possible by Yes Portrait. New Orleans portrait artist Adair specializes in personal portraits in oil or pencil. She uses her many years of experience to bring her portraits to life. More information is available at yesportrait.com.
Support for this program comes from the French Market District, 6 historic blocks of retail and dining in the French Quarter. They offer a variety of shopping and dining experiences, complete with live music and local produce, artwork, jewelry, and gifts, open daily. Find special event and parking information at frenchmarket.org.